Yo, it's me. It's me. It's your host, Big D. Back at it again with episode 32 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. Now, before we get into anything else, give me a second to readjust here. I do want to apologize. I was not able to record this video at the time of my liking. I had hopes to record it yesterday after work, but your boy sprained his ankle. So we were out of commission yesterday. Don't worry, everything's fine. Got some crutches, got that wrapped up real good. Not looking for sympathy or anything like that. Don't need it. Had people checking up, asking me if I was okay. I appreciate it. That's what it is. And I did want to let y'all know, if it seems like I'm being very monotone or nonchalant, that's not the nonchalant is the word I'm looking for. That's not the case at all. It's just people are sleeping right now, and I'm trying to respect their wishes and whatnot. But without further ado, this is episode 32 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast, and we are going to be recapping the Week 1 Pickems, and we'll be doing the Week 2 Pickems. Before we get into anything further, I want to shout out a couple of my sponsors. Shout out to, Havoc Energy. They've been one of my sponsors since, I rebranded this podcast. And I do plan on, once I get a little bit of money coming in, I do plan on getting some stuff, promoting that on here. I don't want to just keep saying, hey, use my code Fourth Down Forum and you get 10% off, but we got to do what we got to do for right now. And then shout out to my other sponsor. We are affiliated with Fanatics. So, you see me use any links on videos, websites, things of that nature. Not websites, videos, social media, things of that nature. Click the link. You buy from that link. I get a little nice commission. So, but enough of that. Without further ado, let's recap the Week 1 games. So we kicked off the season with the AFC Conference Championship rematch. And let me tell you, it was a hell of a game. You got star tight ends in Travis Kelce for the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Mark Andrews, the diabetes demon, Mandrews himself. Did either of those guys do anything that night, though? No. The star of that game on offense was a man by the name of Isaiah Likely. Now, us Ravens fans, we know about Isaiah Likely. You know that song where it's like, oh, I think they like me. Oh, I think it's likely. Because it's Isaiah's time. He went off for 111 yards, had a touchdown in the fourth quarter, would have had the game-winning touchdown. Could I sit here and say, oh, the referees were BSing us? I could, but, Could I sit here and say the fact that Steve Spagnuolo called a timeout shouldn't have been allowed to happen? I could, but what's that going to do? It's not going to fix anything. As a Ravens fan, though, could I sit here and say his toe wasn't out of bounds? It was in the line. I could, but I'm not going to, because I am a unbiased, let me not say unbiased, but I am a sports analyst podcaster. So that said, his foot was out of bounds, and the Chiefs beat the Ravens 27-20. We did not utilize Derrick Henry the way I would have liked. That's really my only gripe with that. Hopefully we clean it up in Week 2, but we'll get into that a bit later. So we move on from our Thursday night season opener over to out of state in Brazil. We had your Friday night kickoff game, Friday night kickoff weekend game, we'll call it, where the Philadelphia Eagles went against the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Eagles won this game, and I had them winning this game. Here are my takeaways on that. For those of you, whether you be former Giants fans, whether you just be salty that Saquon is with a division opponent, whether it be something else, that said Saquon Barkley was going to be washed behind the Eagles' offensive line, hat trick. The man had 3 touchdowns. Count them, 3. Yeah. He had 3. And they got the dub. That field was abysmal, though. It's a soccer field, so it's expected, but don't make a team play in Brazil again. And if you are going to make a team play in Brazil again because it's money, I get that. Have better field conditions. That said, Jordan Love did happen to get injured in this game. We had some breakout stars on the Packers offense, too. I forget the receiver's name. Do apologize for that, but he had a phenomenal game. I do want to circle back to the opening night Thursday night game, though, because there were some ballers in that game. Xavier Worthy was another baller. And at the time of this recording, in my main league, there will be guys trying to get guys like Xavier Worthy, former Ravens players, current Ravens players. But I'm going to let y'all know right now, this may make or break my season, but considering I'm number 1 in waiver wire priority, I get first dibs. So we'll see how that pans out. So I should just tell y'all without further ado, I put in a waiver for Xavier Worthy. I put in a waiver for former Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins, current Chargers running back. And I put one in for Isaiah Likely. So we'll see if those process later on tonight. Without further ado, do apologize for that. Let's get back into the Sunday games. Now, I do have to look over my notes here because I'm not going to remember everything off beat. And we're not going to cover every single score either, so I'm going to let y'all know that right now. The Saints blew out the Panthers. That was, not to quote AJ Styles, phenomenal. But yeah, Derek Carr had like 3 touchdowns on J.C. Horn, and J.C. Horn was trying to talk trash, and he was like, I got 3 tutties on you, little bro. That was hilarious. Let's look here. The Patriots upset the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, Joe Brrr, as they like to call you. You sold my fantasy team, man. 6 points? What are we doing? But Patriots head coach Gerard Mayo gets his first win as New England's head coach. The Steelers, led by Justin Fields on offense, beat the Atlanta Falcons. Justin Fields is trending to play week 2. Keep that in mind for when we get into our week 2 pick'ems. Pittsburgh, you are a division rival. I respect the hell out of y'all. I don't like y'all. This has been well documented. But I don't hate y'all necessarily either. It's weird. It's kind of like the Joker and Batman relationship, if you will. That said, stick with Fields as your quarterback, and he's going to take you a longer way than Russell Wilson would have. And I stand on that. Now, my favorite game from this Sunday afternoon slate had to be, hands down, the Texans-Colts game. It was a phenomenal game. It was the game I was watching because, you know, I have players. I have Anthony Richardson in one league. I have Stroud and Nico Collins in another. So I was keeping a close eye on that game. Anthony Richardson, that kid missed all of last season. He was injured, but hell of a performance he put on. The kid's got an arm. He's got a rocket. And Stroud, we've already seen what Stroud could do last year. Hell, Baltimore saw him twice last year. They're going to see him once this year. But yeah, the Texans beat the Colts. And now we move over to page 2 of my notes. The Bills beat the Cardinals. Not surprising. However, Josh Allen ran it in twice for touchdowns. So, you know, when Lamar does it, he's a running back. When Josh Allen does it, he's a unicorn? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But Kyler Murray did miss a wide open Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe if he was a bit taller, he would have seen him. Now, the Chicago Bears got their first win in the Caleb Williams era. Don't remember off the top of my head who they beat, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to remember it as soon as I wrap this video up, and I'm going to be like, oh, How did I forget that? The Dolphins beat the Jaguars. Now, before this happened, one wide receiver by the name of Tyreek Hill was cuffed and arrested, if you will. I'm not quoting it because he wasn't arrested. He was put in cuffs. It was BS that happened. Even if, he was acting insubordinate or anything like that. When you're in a position like that, you should not be abusing your powers like that. And, it's just crazy to see. That officer was suspended. He's trying to get his job, reinstated. No. Actions have consequences, and this is your downfall. Deal with it. But that said, the Dolphins did beat the Jags. Tyreek Hill scored me a nice tutty. I know my boy Big Mike of the Running Podcast. Go follow him. Give him a follow. Covers a lot of wrestling content. One of my favorite wrestling creators on this app. So if you like wrestling, you like college football. He also covers college football, things of that nature. On other channels, but go give him a follow. I'll link his channel in the bio below. The Chargers beat the Raiders in the new era, the Jim Harbaugh era. Ravens West, as I like to call them. Greg Roman, you'll figure it out, I hope. J.K. Dobbins, El Toro, buddy, I'm sorry we couldn't keep you. But boy, did you ball the hell out in your first game. Continue doing that. Just not against us, okay? Love to see it. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders in the first game of the Jaden Daniels era in Washington, Landover, if you want to be technical. Don't got much to say on that. Baker Mayfield looks like a franchise quarterback. That's because he is. The Browns did him dirty. I will stand by that. They should have kept him over trying to get Deshaun. I will stand by that as well. Call me crazy. The Lions on Sunday Night Football beat the Rams in overtime. Hey, Ravens. Hey, Ravens. You see how the Lions were able to run the ball down the Rams' throat? The next time you run into a juggernaut, you plow Derrick Henry through a brick wall. You don't got to overutilize him, but use him for what he was brought here to do. Capiche? And on Monday Night Football, the 49ers beat the Jets. Now, a lot of people had the Jets winning this game because CMC, Blue Eyes White Privilege, that is not my saying. Shout out Chiseled Adonis, that is his saying. I'm just quoting it, not mine. However, CMC was inactive for this game. The 49ers, however, might be getting fined for that because you're supposed to put it on the injury report when a player is not going to play. So we should have known since Wednesday because the Jets spent all this time preparing for CMC, and instead they played Jordan Mason, who ran for damn near 150 yards on them. Rodgers, however, Aaron Rodgers, looked phenomenal. Got the free play, got a tutty on that. He's the king of that. They said it on Monday Night Football. Rodgers played a whole game, so he should be good to go the rest of the season. We'll see how it pans out. And without further ado, because I see we are already at the 14-minute mark, we are going to pan over to our Week 2 Pickems. So, starting off with Thursday Night Football, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. Still no Odell Beckham Jr. That's why I'm wearing this jersey, by the way. This is my Odell jersey, but he plays for the Dolphins, so it's relevant. But you got a Tyreek Hill, you got a Jalen Waddle, you got a Tua Tagovailoa, you got Lanchi. Give me the Miami Dolphins winning and going 2-0. I think I have them winning their division if my AFC predictions were correct. So we get into the Sunday slate. We got the 49ers playing the Vikings. Now, all I need from this game is for Kittle and Jefferson to go off. I'm trying to win one of my leagues. That said, give me the San Francisco 49ers. The Giants versus the Commanders. Now, I seen a stat that one of my boys shared saying Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic, whatever you want to call them, is 7-1 versus the Commanders. However, this is a new era. This is the Jaden Daniels era. And Jaden Daniels is going to get his first win in the NFL against the G-Men. We got the Seahawks versus the Patriots. Now, Mike McDonald, you were supposed to be the successor to John Harbaugh. You really were. However, that wasn't in the case. So now our best option is either Todd Monken or Zachary Orr. Probably not Orr just yet, because he doesn't have a full season as a DC yet. But we'll see how it pans out. That said, give me Mike McDonald getting his second win. Shout out Ann. Shout out to my friend Ann. She was not happy or thrilled with my NFC predictions, but I do have y'all winning this game. You know, and that's on me. I should have been familiar with Mike McDonald's game. He was our DC. I should have known. But yeah, I got y'all beating the Patriots. The Chargers versus the Panthers. Do we have our first upset here? Hell no, we do not. Give me the Jim Harbaugh-led Chargers. Give me Justin Herbert having a phenomenal game. Give me J.K. Dobbins rushing for over 100 yards again. I got the Chargers winning this game. It's the Panthers. The Panthers are arguably the worst team in the league right now. Saints versus the Cowboys. Dak's coming off of that big contract. He's coming off of that win against the Browns. The Saints are coming off of their win as well. But one team's going to walk out of here defeated. And it's going to be the Saints. I got the Cowboys winning this one. Colts over the Packers. Yep, I have the Colts over the Packers. Is that my second team? Absolutely. Do I think they can get a lot done without Jordan Love? No, I do not. That's not to say I have doubt in the team, but I'm being realistic here. But Richardson looks promising, so that's why I'm taking the Colts over the Packers. Browns-Jaguars, I'm taking the Browns winning their game, so they will be 1-1 in the AFC North. New York Jets versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans didn't look bad. I wouldn't say they looked phenomenal or extreme or amazing as well. They looked average. But the Aaron Rodgers fan in me is not going to sit here and allow me to have the Jets losing twice in a row. And I do have the Jets making the playoffs as a wild card team. So, for that reason, I'm taking the Jets. The Buccaneers versus the Lions. Give me the Lions over the Bucs. First upset. Give me the Arizona Cardinals over the Los Angeles Rams. I think Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are going to be on the same page. I think they're going to be, gelling. I think James Conner's going to get it together. Bengals versus the Chiefs. Now, this is a tricky one, isn't it? Because you would want it to be, who has Mahomes' number more than Joe Burrow, right? However, I already bet against the Chiefs once when we played them. I let this talk instead of this talk. We're not going to do that again. Give me the Chiefs beating the Bengals. So I have the Bengals falling to 0-2. 0-2. If they don't, hey, I was wrong. I'm man enough to admit that. Steelers, Broncos. Now, I said earlier in the podcast, the Steelers are going to be led by Justin Fields. That said, give me the Steelers over the Broncos. And on Sunday Night Football, we got Caleb Williams versus CJ Stroud. Give me the Texans over the Bears. And then to wrap things up, on Monday Night Football, we have the Battle of the Birds as the Atlanta Falcons are going to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this should be a no-brainer. Realistically, I did say I had the Falcons winning their division, but they're not going to hit their stride just quite yet. I have them losing to the Eagles. And then, a game we didn't talk about on here, because I don't think I wrote it down for some reason, which is odd. The Ravens versus the Raiders. Now, if we go into our home opener and somehow start 0-2, you are going to get a crash out on this podcast. You will see 4th Down Forum has gone live, and it will just be me ranting and raving about what's wrong with this team. However, I don't foresee that happening because I have the Ravens winning their home opener against the Raiders. Well, that said, let's talk about some stuff coming up on the channel. Pickems are going to be a weekly thing. I will do my best to have them uploaded by the Thursday of game day at the latest. At the earliest, I would like to have them up by Tuesday or Wednesday before that game is going to happen. It gives us time to, decompress, let the, algorithm run its course, do its thing, do what it needs to do. NBA season's about to start. We are going to be doing a NBA episode. We do one every year. That's not going to change. The college episode is still coming. I just got to find time to, sit down and work it out. We might do a Heisman watch. We might do a ranking video. I haven't quite decided yet, but there is still something in the works for that. Other than that, that's really all I have for y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning into episode 32. Reminder, at 500 subscribers, we are doing a giveaway for a mini helmet of either your favorite NFL or college team. So all you have to do there is like the video. Well, subscribe to the channel, like a video on the channel. It can be this one, it could be another one. Comment done when you're done. And then once we're at 500, I'll put in the community notes what needs to be done to enter the giveaway outside of that, or the rules and whatnot. But that said, thank y'all for supporting me. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all on the next episode.